I want to get him a little bit more.
First. Next pitch.
Nice draw.
And struck him out.
Down, 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 down.
Next pitch. Hit this, hit deep. And it's... Hey, what's up, viewers? Patrick from Williamsburg Blue Pirate Games Galore here, and welcome back to another video. And welcome to a very special video. Today is National Coaches Day, and in these next couple of videos, I'll be talking about our coaches for our junior high and varsity basketball and baseball. I'll be describing them and my experience with them. Keep in mind, I will not be including elementary football and Juniata Valley football, so keep that in mind. This first part of the series, I'll be talking about our baseball, and this will be focusing on the varsity and the junior high. Keep in mind too, I will also do softball for varsity, so stay tuned for that. Let's get to it. So I would like to start with our assistant coaches, and we're going to start with varsity. So the assistant coach, well, let's start with last year first of all. Lambert Palmer, he was our assistant coach last year, and I gotta say, he was really good. And I know Jerry Palmer did most of the coaching first base last year, but Lambert Palmer did the rest of the season. And then Jerry Palmer took over in the playoffs. Lambert Palmer was really good. So that was our coach last year. Dooner was another one, so I'll acknowledge him as well. And then we're going to talk about the assistant coaches that I know a lot about. And the assistant coach I'll start with, starting with last year, is Michael Farrell. Now, in the next episode of this series, I'll be talking about him as he is the coach of the junior high basketball team. But for this episode of this series, I'm going to talk about Michael Farrell as the assistant coach of our varsity baseball team. Let me tell you, he's a good coach, and for somebody that also teaches phys ed and health, knowing how important it is to make sure that you're staying calm, that when you go through a rough patch during the game and even during the season, you know, with that experience that Michael Farrell has, it really makes an impact on the team, and I really appreciate that. That's something that I don't think about and I don't recognize, but I'll recognize it this time around. So that's Michael Farrell. And then the new coaches for this year, now Jerry Lauer and Mike Reffner will also be talked about coming up when I talk about the VFW and Federation League, but for this particular part of this video, I'm going to be talking about varsity. So starting with Mike Reffner. As a coach and with the experience that he had with the team I'll be mentioning later on in this video, he's a really good coach, and like Michael Farrell, he also wants to make sure that the players stay calm and know that the coaches are with them in the rough patches. And you know, Reffner is a coach that is very calm. I'm sure there's been a couple moments that occurred during the baseball season this year, or even last year, where things might have gotten a little intense, but overall, Reffner has a very calm demeanor, and I appreciate that. So that's Reffner. For Jerry Lauer, same thing. Has a calm demeanor, and always wants to make sure that the players are giving it their best, and they also they also know that the coaches are with them and are ready to encourage them when needed. So that's Jerry Lauer. And then Jerry Palmer, our head coach. This is the easiest part of the video because there's a lot I could say about Jerry Palmer. And let me mention this too. For Mike Reffner, later on, if you viewers want an example of just Mike Reffner, with that calm demeanor and ready to encourage the kids when needed, there was a moment that occurred against Tyrone in our 15U game that I'll be talking about a little bit later. But for Jerry Palmer, he also has a calm demeanor. He also has got a good sense of humor, and that's why Jerry Palmer is, I'll honestly say one of my favorite baseball coaches. There's been plenty of moments during these first 2 years documenting his team that are definitely worth watching again, like the time that he responded to Alex Brantner after Alex Brantner backtalked for a strike, or the time that he had to talk to Sam Parks because there was something that Jerry Palmer told him how many times during the week, and Logan Brantner was involved in it also. But the moments I'll talk about for this particular series is the positives. The game against Mounts Union. It was our first game. It wasn't too good of a game. We lost 18-1. We were just a new team with a new coach and just, I guess you can say, a lot of kids with experience. The first single of the season for Preston Long was memorable because of what Jerry Palmer said. If you want to know what it was like, here is the video. Speaking of moments that occurred that involved Jerry Palmer, in addition, the Penn's Manor game, Luke Uplinger as the pitcher, Alex Brantner as the catcher. And those two strikes that Luke threw in that game, also memorable because of what Jerry Palmer said. Here is that video.
Ball, 2 strikes. Yo, up 8. One time here, one time, up 8. Nice. Get it.
So outside of the plays that were memorable because of Jerry Palmer, I'll mention some other moments. Moshan Valley is another one. So before Jerry Palmer responds to Alex Brantner's back-talking in the same game, Jerry Palmer is talking to the players about patience. There was another moment during this game where he asked the question, well, let me show you the video. And then in addition, here is the moment where Jerry Palmer responds to Alex Brantner because of his back-talking.
I like how we're patient out there, guys. Be patient. 3 pitches, huh? 2 out. That's not patient.
There's right down the pipe, Jerry.
Now you gotta be patient. Look at a couple. See what he's giving you. Get your timing down.
It's right down the pipe.
Sorry.
Yeah, JP, I'm sorry.
That's what makes a great ball.
Damn it.
It's another player already, Jerry.
Every game there's one. Now, show some patience. Now you get 3 strikes.
I'm the first pitch hitter.
No, I noticed your average shows it. Listen.
Dude, he has the highest average.
Yeah, what you
No,
saying?
no.
It's almost 500.
There's a couple mistakes. Trust me. Big AB. Get the timing down. Don't, Alex, I'll sit you down right now. Come on, don't blame me for you. You look at some pitches. You get 3. Bunt then. What's the attitude? Dig it, dig it, dig it. There it is! Yay! Second pitch. Second pitch. Way to run it out, Sammy. Not so good on you, Skippy.
I catch it like it.
Skip was about 8 feet off. What if a bird flew in here, hit that ball, and it landed fair? What would they call it?
Gary, you need to stop.
You ever see it?
No.
You know what that?
Have you ever seen it?
Fair ball.
First of all, have you ever seen it?
In baseball.
In the NFL.
In the NFL.
You ain't never seen that.
Go, Sam. All you, baby.
WNBA.
Broncos. WNBA, huh?
Yeah.
Some other moments that I'll just highlight that involved Jerry Palmer, our head baseball coach. He was talking to Evan Becker before the game. He was giving him advice on how to catch a foul ball in foul territory along the fence. And I did not record that moment. That was during pregame, but that was memorable. And another one I'll mention, this was against Greater Latrobe. They were at bat, and one of their foul balls they hit went into the bleachers, and it hit Julie Mae Uplinger, which was one of Luke's parents. But rest assured, she was okay. But Jerry Palmer said, let's go, sacrifice yourself there for mom. And that I don't know why, but that moment, for some oddball reason, was memorable. It was not memorable because that foul ball hit one of Luke's parents, but it was somehow memorable because Jerry Palmer said something afterwards. And that's something that's worth mentioning. And there's various other ones that I am not going to mention because I either don't remember it or I didn't know it happened because of starring varsity baseball and starring film and baseball a year ago. So there's your varsity. The junior high. And the junior high, let me give you the assistant coaches first. Dale McCall and Mike McCall. I'm not going to mention much. I'm just going to acknowledge them. And then the head coach. This is where it's interesting because this would be the first time that I would ever get to work with the new coach of the junior high. If you remembered, Mike Greffner and Jerry Lauer were the original coaches of the junior high. But then whenever the 9th graders moved up, that was the reason why Mike Greffner and Jerry Lauer, they resigned, and then they moved up to be the assistant coaches of our varsity team. And if you guys are wondering, who stepped in to that position? Well, none other than Josh Kurtzy. And this is another easy one because he also was the coach of the 12U team, also is now the current coach of our 5th and 6th grade football team. And let me just tell you, he also is the preacher at the Grace Point Community Church here in Williamsburg, for those that are outside of Pennsylvania and also outside the United States. Let me throw that out there. Let me just say, like Mike Greffner, like Jerry Lauer, like Michael Farrell, like Jerry Palmer, you know, Josh Kurtzy has a calm demeanor, but at the same time, because he's the preacher, he also can play a big role in when the team is struggling. He can be that person that lifts the whole team up and tells them that, you know, we're struggling, but we can get through this together. You know, we're part of a team, we're part of a family, you know, and I really like that as a coach. And Josh Kurtzy definitely plays that role really good. So that's the junior high. And then our Federation and VFW. You know, I already mentioned about Mike Greffner, and I already mentioned about Jerry Lauer, but here they are again. Remember that moment I told you about earlier that I was going to mention that happened against Tyrone? Actually, before that moment, let me mention this. And this is never before heard. I never mentioned this before, but I'm just going to throw it out there right now. With our assistant coaches. And let me pull it up so that way I am talking about the right coaches. So Mike McCall was also the coach of our 15U team. And I'm just going to acknowledge him. Matt Neary. Now, there's a name you've never heard of before. Who is Matt Neary? Well, if you want some context, he is related to Anthony Neary, the kid that plays on our varsity baseball team, and he also plays on our basketball team. He is also related to Lily Neary, one of my senior classmates that I graduated with last year. And he's also the football coach of the Juniata Valley Junior High team. There was a moment that occurred against Tyrone, and let me tell you, if you want a game-changing moment when it was really needed, and I'm going to go ahead and mention this. So we were down like 3-2, I think, or 3-1, or 3-0. I can't remember. But you can find the video under Williamsburg ZMAX versus Tyrone 15U boys baseball. But we were down, and while I was in the break, Matt Neary all of a sudden starts yelling at the team, and I could hear it from where I was at. And that particular moment became one of the game-changing moments that occurred, and that would impact the game. Because if you watch the game, we were going to not only come back, but also just destroy Tyrone. 19-3 with an Ethan Refner home run being one of the highlights. So that's Matt Neary. And then, speaking of that game, now bringing back Mike Refner, and the moment that occurred, time was called, and Tyrone their defense was talking, and there was this one moment that occurred between Mike Refner and one of our baseball players. I don't know if it might have been Brant Height, but I am not 100% sure. But here is the video.
Here we go.
Time will be called.
80 to 90. 60. It's all in sitting and waiting on the ball. It's harder than. Well, I understand it's harder than what you think. But you move up in the plate, sit back, keep your bat. Yeah. Just gotta slow everything down. That's not how it works.
Hope they didn't mind.
Come on, Ant.
A little bit of nice fatherly advice by the coach of the
More than you have.
Hey, sit on it,
15U.
kid. Sit on it.
Let me mention this too about Matt Neary. He is a good coach. He also has got a calm demeanor. And there's Matt Neary. So Mike Refner, you viewers know that he coached our VFW last year, our ZMAX team. He also coached the junior high. I didn't do the junior high because I was too busy with our varsity and varsity softball. And he's also the coach of our 15U. And let me just tell you, in addition to that particular video I showed you, Mike Refner also has got that calm demeanor, and it continues to go beyond varsity. And there was this one crazy moment that I'll just bring up, and basically, we had a 2-game losing streak. We had lost to Bellwood. That was whenever Preston injured his hamstring. And we also lost to VFW Post 3. And this was before the game occurred. So I was already set up, and I was just getting ready for the game, doing my usual pregame routine. And all of a sudden, Mike Refner refers to our team as playing like the 8U. You know, we were getting too many walks. We were not striking, and our batting was also very bad. But, you know, sometimes I will honestly tell you, viewers, sometimes you just gotta, you know, go with it. Whatever you're gonna say. You know, sometimes as coaches, you just gotta be honest. And that moment, Mike Refner was really honest when he mentioned referred to our 15U as playing like the 8U. And then we took on Tyrone. You know, Matt Neary was yelling at the team. We go on to win. Ethan Refner hits a home run, and there you go. 2-game losing streak is gone. So, Jerry Lauer, like I said with the varsity, a really good coach, calm demeanor, and all the coaches are in position, ready to encourage the team when needed. And that takes care of the coaches for the high school baseball teams, the varsity and junior high, and the 15U and the 14U VFW and Federation teams. The next video will be the softball. That'll be coming up. I also got basketball, which, by the way, for basketball, let me throw this out there. It will not be up till sometime in November. Probably the first full week. Yes, first full week that'll be up. So stay tuned. That's going to do it for this first video in the National Coaches Day series. And as always, if you like these kinds of videos, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit the notification bell where you'll be notified when a new video is up on the channel, whether it's a game or a countdown or anything Williamsburg sports related. And be sure you share these videos. If there's anybody that you know of that are Blue Pirate fans, be sure you share these videos. Thank you, viewers, for watching. And this is Patrick from Williamsburg Blue Pirate Games Galore, signing off.